Tom Hoge won the final Masters pre-tournament event, which is the Par 3 contest. He beat Bubba Watson in what, for just a short time, looked like it would be a first victory for the Saudi-backed Live Golf and its players. Joining us to speak about the year's first major is Michael Vlismis. A very good morning and welcome to Newzroom Afrika. There's certainly been a lot of media focus on the Live players and the others. The players, certainly the Live Golf stars, keep saying that there is no tension. Is this all media hype, Michael?
The room and Augusta was always going to do its utmost to ensure that it doesn't dominate or overshadow their tournament. You can definitely be certain about that. It's the reason Greg Norman was not invited, and Fred Ridley, the chairman, addressed that in his chairman's press conference, because they don't want to take away from what is the golf and the tournament. And they've done their best. The Champions Dinner, by all accounts, there was no real live discussions there. And players seemed to have been getting along as best as possible. Rory McIlroy and Brooks Koepka played a practice round together. So they seem to all be doing their best to focus on what is the first major and a very special major to a lot of them.
So at the moment, we've got the Live Golf players banned from the PGA Tour. There's a court case which we should get a ruling out where the European Tour also wanted to follow suit. How exactly are the Live Golf players allowed to play in the Masters?
Well, the news actually that DP World Tour actually won that arbitration case just now, and that's just come out. The Times of London reporting that as well. So it's going to be very, very difficult going forward. The Masters has said, and they said originally as well, that if you had qualified for the Masters this year, you will play in the Masters this year. And Fred Ridley announcing that they're going to do the same for 2024. So at this point, Live golfers can play in the Masters, but you make a very valid point. How many of them can qualify to play in the Masters? Now, there are a large chunk of Live golfers who are past Masters champions, so they're there for life, including Charl Schwartzel. So they will be in the Masters for as long as they feel they can compete there. Then you need to win a major. If you win one of the other majors, you're there for 5 years at the Masters. But in terms of world rankings at this particular point, that top 50 slot is dwindling. It's out until Liv gets official world golf rankings, which is not the case at the moment. So a lot of these golfers obviously are going to be playing in Asia to see where they can get world ranking points through the Asian tour. But yes, you either have to have won the Masters or win a major to want to get a seat at that table in 2024.
So let's speak a little bit about the tournament. It gets underway later on this evening. Scotty Sheffler will launch his bid to become just the fourth golfer to win back-to-back Masters at the 87th edition. What do you make of his chances? He's certainly the bookmakers' favourite.
I think any time you've won at Augusta National or you've done well at Augusta National, you're a favourite. There's no doubt about it. Local knowledge there is essential. Local knowledge and short game knowledge around those greens is critical. It's very seldom you get somebody that just doesn't know that golf course at all, that blows through and wins it. It obviously has happened, but I do think once you understand that course, you're going to do well. The weather's going to be different, so it does bring a bit of a different dynamic. But I think Scotty Sheffler knows what to do there. He's probably going to make another good run at it. I would imagine. I think anybody again who knows the secrets of those greens and the short game, and there are so many options chipping around those greens alone, you're going to be in the running.
So let's speak a little bit about the South African Charl Schwartzel, Louis Oosthuizen, who was the perennial bridesmaid in 2021. And then an amateur, Aldrich Potgieter, just 18 years old.
Very excited to see Potgieter in particular. He's mature beyond his years in a golf sense. He's winning all over the world. He's winning big tournaments, amateur titles all over the world. And, you know, that's always the test of an amateur. It's one thing winning in your own country. It's another thing entirely winning overseas, and then it's winning the right amateur tournaments overseas. And he's doing that. He's big. He's got control of his game. I'm very keen to see what he does. I think it'll be exciting to see what he does. Again, Charl Schwartzel, Louis Oosthuizen. Oosthuizen, as you mentioned, has come close so many times. He certainly knows what to do at Augusta. Whether his game is sharp enough at the moment, that's the obvious live golf question. Schwartzel, possibly the same thing. But again, Schwartzel knows better than anybody what to do at Augusta. And his game has revived of late. He's found something in his game. But in terms of the South Africans, I'm really keen to see how Aldrich Potgieter handles this stage, because I certainly do believe he's got the temperament for it.
Let's speak a little bit about five-time Masters winner Tiger Woods. He speculated that this may actually be one of his final appearances at Augusta National, but boy, does golf need him to perform.
Yes, absolutely. Anytime he tees it up, it's an event at the moment, and golf does need it. You miss them when they're gone. Any sport will tell you that. And the big thing with Woods is, again, I mean, he's a veritable wealth of knowledge for that golf course. He's been sharing that knowledge widely, which he didn't do for a long time in his career, and kept a lot of his secrets to himself naturally. But he's now in that bracket of the Fred Couples and those previous greats who share their knowledge of that golf course quite widely with the next generation. The challenge for Woods is the golf course itself, beyond the greens. It's the hills there, it's the elevations, it's the walking that golf course. It's an old saying, but it's so true. You don't get a sense of it on TV. If you've walked that golf course, the elevation is immense on that course. There is a lot of uphills and downhills there, and that brings a lot of uphill and downhill lies as well off those fairways. So that's the big challenge for Woods. It's a physical one. The fact that he's got everything else, there's no doubt, but physically it takes its toll. But yeah, what fantastic to have him there. 47 years old. Jack Nicklaus was 46 when he won his final major. So stranger things have happened in golf, as we know, and especially when it comes to Tiger Woods.
Yeah, well, let's speak about last year's runner-up, Northern Irishman Rory McIlroy. He's hoping to finally complete his career Grand Slam. Do you think it's going to be possible this year?
We hope it's possible every year, because he's got such a history with that golf course. It's so personal for him. He's wanted it so badly. He's wanted it too badly. Justin Thomas spoke about that as well. You can want the Masters too badly, and it can just keep slipping away from your grasp. He's got so much damage in terms of what has happened there before. But, McIlroy is an immense character. He's an intriguing character. I think he's in a different space entirely at the moment. He learns, he moves on, and he deals with things in a quite unique way. And I think he's put a lot of that behind him as best as he can. I think he would be the one you would certainly, one of the storylines you'd want to win, that completes the Grand Slam for him. And you just feel who he is in the game. He needs to slip on that green jacket before he's done.
It's said that Augusta favors the brave. When you have nothing to lose, like the live players, that may make them more of a threat. What would it actually mean to golf in general if a live player has to actually pull on that green jacket? It
would be something the Live Golf League itself would trumpet and would be ecstatic about. I think, everything is being done certainly at Augusta National. As I said, I think everything is being done to shy away and steer it away from any rivalry. Golf is not that kind of sport and never has been. And unfortunately, golf has been dragged into mudslinging and conflict through this scenario at the moment, and it's not the domain of golf. So I do think, from the players' perspective themselves, I think it would be a mistake to play the man and not the golf course, because the golf course is going to win. And if you take your eye off anything other than what your job is this week on that golf course and are playing for any other reason, I think you're going to get burnt. And I think the players are hopefully mature enough and they're professional enough to know that and need to focus on what they need to do. Anytime you start playing the man in this game, and particularly this week, or anything, or for any other reason, I think you're in trouble. So I think even the live golfers themselves would be doing their best to focus on the challenge that the course presents and what is a long, arduous week as the first major of the year.
Michael Vlismis, golf journalist, thank you so much for chatting to us here on Newzroom Afrika. The 87th edition of the Masters gets underway later on this evening. The afternoon draw teeing off at 9 p.m. South African time.